Hey YouTube, today, quick intro as always, is part 2 hopefully of the fencing. So I've got some more posts put in. I'm not going to worry too much about showing that to you guys. What I'm going to try and get on today is the cross beams. I am at the moment undecided whether I'm going to use the sort of 3x2 or 2x1 that I've used at the bottom end there, or whether to use some planks. Quick explanation as to why. Reason being is that this is a border fence, and it's, you know, there's a path either side of it. Now one could argue that the rickety sort of cobbled together sort of, I'm not even going to call it a fence, barrier that's there is certainly thicker than what I'm going to be ended up putting together, at least that's going to overlap onto next door's allotment. You know, one could argue that, but sort of in the interest of, I want to say fairness, but I don't suppose that's the right thing, in the interest of politics, you know, being fair, doing the right thing, whatever you want to call it, not being an arse basically is the way I'm looking at it. I'm thinking I've got some planks that are tannalised wood, so I'm thinking instead of having sort of that sort of thickness where I'm then going to attach more wood onto the front of that, because my plan is, as you've seen me put the posts in, the posts are going to be on my side, the fence is actually going to be on the outside, so between the next door's plot. So I'm thinking if I use the plank and then a plank again, you know, a plank for the cross beam, and then as you've seen, the 4-inch planks for the lats. I'm thanking I'm not sticking the fence as much over next door's path as little as possible. Let's say the reason being is the gent that's got the next door allotment. Yes, he's giving me that half, but you know, I'm not banking on that. You know, he might see that I put this fence up. Because one of the reasons he's giving me that half is because his fence that's there, it's a trip hazard to the gentleman. He's not a well gentleman. I'm doing everything I can because he's an outdoorsman, and if he gave up his plot, he'd give up on life. So I'm doing everything I can. Now, is the current sort of ramshackle thing that's there is a trip hazard for him. Now, if he's here on his own, and there are times where he comes on his own quite regularly, and there's not many people up this end of the allotment on a regular basis at the moment, if he was to fall, it could be, I'm not going to say fatal, but it would certainly be bad, because he may not, if he can't get himself up, he could end up laying in the mud, on the cold concrete, in the rain. He could end up being there for an hour or two before he manages to get somebody's attention. So the main reason for the push, because for me it'd be easier to do the other side, then I can bring the dog down, because the dog going over that fence happens very infrequently, and she comes straight back anyway. But because of, you know, what it is, and what the problems that the gentleman has, and you know, everything I've already explained, I'm trying to get this side done first. So yeah, I'm going to get on there, I'm going to get the verticals cut and hopefully fitted, although the plan I had may not work, because the fence as it sits is pretty butted up against the existing sort of rickety ramshackle thing. Once again, I was hoping he would be here to ask him, did he mind temporarily not having that barrier there. I'm pretty sure his answer would be no, but I'm not doing it without his permission. So even if I just cut them, if I fit the top ones, I mean, you know, I feel like I'm telling my grandmother to suck eggs, because, you know, at the end of the day, if you know how to use a drill, you know how to screw it through wood, and that's all it is. You know, if you've measured your posts out carefully, or relatively carefully as I have, you should be able to cut all your horizontals to the same size using the measuring stick that I did between the posts. You should just be able to go zip, 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 and cut all them, and screw them on. You know, it really shouldn't be a long job. So I'm going to stop waffling. I'm going to get it. I'm going to get the camera set up and try different angles so that you can see more and hopefully see less of my bricky's arse. And go from there, see what happens. So I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so back outside once again. I'll run you through what I've been up to. Don't know how clear it will be on the action camera, so I'm just going to run you through a few things and get back to it. I think I'm going to have a coffee. I'm going to check the time because I don't know what time it is and I've got to be home for lunchtime. Sorry about the wind, it just seems to be that kind of September. Yeah, so that's yeah. Right, so turns out that my measuring stick, or my method of measuring, didn't do a great job, so I'm not too sure if it's going to remain the same, but the principle remains the same. So, and this post I'm going to have to reset. The postcrete really hasn't grabbed the bottom of the post, it's rather wobbly. But all I've done is plank of wood, still some nails in this one, nice big chalky screw, either end. There'll be another one sort of down here somewhere. I'm not going to do that until I've spoken to the neighbouring plot holder, because I'm not going to be able to do that with the current border in place. So I'm not going to be able to put those on just yet until I've spoken to him. I was hoping he would turn up today, but he hasn't arrived yet. And then I've been just playing about making a gate for putting sort of the right way up. Yeah, that way. Oh, nice and sturdy, nice and strong. A lot heavier than I intended it to be. But then I don't hang lats on it, I just cover it with chicken wire. Oh. So yeah, a gate, which probably is massively over-engineered. But yes, it's just a shame that that piece of wood there isn't the same as these pieces of wood. So it looks a bit off, but it'll be functionable. It won't cause any issues. But it's nice and strong, nice and rigid. I'll just cover it in chicken wire, and I think I've got some hinges in the shed, so I might even get it hung today. We'll see. Yeah, it's wonky, but you know, so is everything else. So why, you know, wonky might as well be the trend for the plot. Let's see. You know, we'll keep going as is. But yeah, we're getting there. So gate, yeah. So got some nice chosty, a nice chosty box. Shall we zoomed out? Yeah. Sorry, it's not a small gate. So we've got a nice chosty box all the way around the outside, a lower central support beam, and two verticals and a middle. The amount of verticals and things is just down to symmetry for the eye, but ideally I only really need this one here because I might have to put some pieces of wood in here to screw the hinges onto, because you're not really supposed to use sort of your top corners and your bottom corners for your hinges. But I might put them on there, see how sturdy it is, and go from there. We'll see. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've been up to. So yeah, I think that's pretty much part 2, because you know, you've seen how I'm putting my verticals on. That's nice, you know, it's higgledy-piggledy, but then, I mean, that one actually looks a lot nicer now, but you know what, it works. What does it matter? So I'm going to reset that one down there, reset that post down there, wherever it is there. Still can't do this pointing larky. Tamp that down. I might get the gate hung, and then I'm probably going to call it a day. Might dig up some leeks for dinner. Let's see. But yeah, there we go. It's a gate, sort of. I just wanted to quickly, before I went home, it is getting windy again. I got the gate up, it's only lashed up on this side for now. So I've got the hinges on. I'm testing them top and bottom, seems pretty sturdy, I'm quite happy with it. Yeah, alright, it's not an exact square, but yeah, works for me. You know, it's, you know, it's a gate. It does what I want it to do. So happy days. Fence posts, I've put 2 more posts in, so I'm almost done. Probably about 2 to go in, maybe more, because oh no, it's an 8-foot shed. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm hoping actually that I've got some wood long enough to just be able to do this one here and then one at the back of the shed, and not have to worry about sort of pulling all this out and doing all that until I'm putting the lats, till I'm actually finishing off the fence. So, but we'll see. So now I'm going home for some lunch. I'll see you next time.